Hey Pisces, welcome to your March 2024 weekly reading. This is going to be your reading here from March 7th until the 13th. So welcome in. I hope you all are doing well. We're just going to go ahead and begin here and take a look and see what it is that you need to know right now in regards to the week. So let's go ahead and get started, Pisces. I kind of liking this energy here for you for the overall. All right, it's interesting. I'm picking up here that it's almost as if the universe is like encouraging you here to step into things that you want to do more fully and with more conviction. The reason why I say that is because you have the Seven of Wands here in your challenge position. And the Seven of Wands is a card that deals with conviction, willpower, strength, going for what it is that you believe in, having courage. And the Emperor here is your overall energy. I'm actually seeing here that you can actually get a lot done and be very effective this week by choosing to engage in things fully and very focused. The Strength card is your advice. The Strength card also does deal with willpower as well. And the Strength card is actually the archetype of Leo. And the Seven of Wands is Mars in Leo. And so there's an emphasis on Leo energy. And Leo represents being your own confident authority. And I do see here that there's a little bit of adversity that you're going to be experiencing through engaging your willpower when it comes to getting things done. But all in all, I feel like what's coming from it is like you feeling the rewarding sensation of actually overcoming like your preconceived limitations and your restrictions. And also I'm kind of picking up here that things may actually be a little bit more easier than what you may be envisioning for yourself at this time. Like I'll give you an example. Like let's just say you want to write a book, but you're like thinking about like, I don't know how I'm gonna get this book wrote. I don't even know how to start a chapter or write an intro or to do an introduction. Well, the universe is saying it's like, all you have to do is start and the answers will flow to you. And you're a sign that knows very well how flow works, Pisces. But I feel like for Pisces to get into the flow, sometimes it really is about engaging that first initial resistance and not shying away from it. Because I do see here with the Moon card being in the outcome, it's like, expect the unexpected. You never know what's going to come from it. It can be great, right? But I think here the Moon card is saying that to trust your instincts, to trust your gut feelings on things. And the only way to really like move through fear is to confront fear itself. And then you realize like, oh, like this wasn't it. This wasn't nothing. It's actually a lot easier than I thought. So let's get back to your reading here. You have the Emperor here for your overall energy. Like I said, this is in regards to you taking full initiative in regards to completing things, getting things done. I feel like you have a lot of power and strength on your side at this time and during this week. You may feel like maybe you don't, or you may feel like you don't because you're feeling resistance, but it's like, I don't think you understand how powerful your willpower is once you like fully engage it. Some of you do, maybe you just forgot or something. But the Emperor is saying here, like if you focus on what you want to achieve and you take care of what it is that you need to do, then you will be successful. You have the Six of Swords here in your current energy at this time. Six of Swords is the escape of the mind. I'm seeing you here like really trying to be innovative, come up with different ideas and different ways of moving forward. I almost feel like that's like your only bet at this time. It's like a lot of the old ways and the ways you've been doing things haven't been working. And so I feel like you're realizing here in order to move yourself out of like the turbulence of the old situation, it's like to come up with newer things or to try newer things here. So I feel like the universe is saying like, yes, if you have an idea or if you get an idea or if you feel that spontaneous urge to innovate and experiment, the universe is saying to go for it. I'm going to pull your oracle cards really quick so we can have a little bit more context with this read. You pulled your own card here. You pulled two cards that are very closely related. You pulled this Deep Diver card. This is diving into a task. And you also pulled this Pisces Sensitized card, which is Pisces is obviously you. So let's pull the rest of these here and let's see. Yeah, I'm seeing what's going on here. I think, well, let's just get back to your reading. But I think through perseverance and being persistent, I think that's what's going to create, first it's going to help you break through, right, the resistance and the limitation or whatever the barrier is. And then there's going to be like a rainfall of like a renewal of inspiration. And the reason why I said that is because you pulled this rain card and it says renewal here. In your challenge position, you have the Seven of Wands, and I was just talking about this earlier. This is about having conviction, being bold, being confident, being courageous to either tackle a task or to take action on something. But you may be feeling like, damn, I don't have the willpower to do this, or why can't I find the willpower? So you may be thinking like you don't have it, but you really do though have it with the Emperor rule in the reading here. And the Strength card is saying like, yes, use your yang fire energy here to engage and start things and to persevere, to have persistence. Because first, the Nine of Wands is in the future position. So yes, this is resistance that you may be feeling, but I feel like the resistance is like maybe your own limiting beliefs, right? And what I mean by that, like, let's just say like, back to the example of wanting to write a book, right? This is just an example. Apply it to your situation. Wanting to write a book. It's your first time you ever wrote a book. And you're like, I don't know how to write a book. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I really do want to do it. And so it's like, you may have also a limiting belief of like, oh, man, I'm not going to be successful. I don't know if I can even write. I'm not a good writer. But you never know. I think it's like quite the contrary. I think it's quite the opposite. And obviously too, it's like you'll never know unless you just get started with it. You're going to feel the resistance at first, but the Nine of Wands is saying like to have persistence. And then with the Moon card, you'll break through with the flow, right? You may, and still though, with the Moon card being here and the outcome, this is only a weekly reading. You may be still having a lot of questions about how it's all going to turn out, but at least you know that you're in the flow or you're getting into the flow here. Also, too, the Moon card is your archetype. It's Pisces. So if you've been feeling out of your element, you showing up in the reading is saying that your element is very strong by the end of the week. So I feel like you'll be tapped into, your natural energies here. You did pull the Three of Swords here in the position of something that you're unaware of here. I think you have a fear of failure. I got to be real with you, Pisces. And I empathize with you, right? Because we all go through this. Like you may have a fear of failure. Maybe you tried things in the past, it didn't work, or maybe you tried to start a process with something and maybe you gave up. And now maybe you're just thinking in your head, oh, what's the point? It's not going to work out anyways. I'm just going to give up again, right? But those are the limiting beliefs too, and the conversation and the dialogue that you're having with yourself that may be like actually limiting you here. So the Three of Swords is saying like, yes, you can acknowledge the past and acknowledge, maybe you haven't been taking action, or maybe you haven't been stepping fully into being courageous in regards to continuing something or starting something. But all your mistakes and your failures, even moving into the future, because we're always going to be continuing to fail in the future, but they're really there to teach you the lesson of how you can do things better, which I don't need to sit here and preach. I think you know that, but I think it's a good reminder here for you. You pull this Pallas Athena card. It says think. Pallas Athena is all about the creative strategy. It's the way you think. It's the way you use your intelligence, right? Pisces, you're a natural sign that has a lot of depth, has a lot of intelligence. And so how can you use your creativity, because you are a sign that has deep creativity, to dive into a task here and figure out a new strategy and a new game plan? And then back to this card, it says deep diver, diving into a task. Universe is saying like, don't be afraid to go deep into something. It's interesting. You are the sign that represents depth, the deepest of them all. And it only goes deeper and deeper, Pisces. There's no bottom, right? And so who knows how far you can take something? Who knows how deep you can take something? But I think it's first by swimming, right? The resistance is like you swimming and going deep into the task. Let's clarify your reading, Pisces. Because it's interesting. I see you wanting to like be your own authority. I see you wanting to take the lead. I see you wanting to like step into that yang energy. Clarify this Emperor for the overall energy for Pisces. You pulled the Nine of Wands here. Look at that. This card's showing up again here. Nine of Wands is, like I said, it's adversity, right? Feeling the resistance. And then the limiting beliefs start to set in, and then you start to emotionally feel like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I believe in what I'm doing. But it's how you navigate that situation. And it's interesting that you pulled the Moon card that represents depth. Pisces represents depth. Deep diver is obviously depth. And so it's like, you may have to learn along the way, but the universe is saying like, don't be afraid to like, whatever comes up you can learn from, and then from there it's like you grow and become even better. But the Emperor here with the Nine of Wands is saying, because the Emperor is Aries, seated in its power. But when it comes to you, this is you tapping into your power, being in the seat of your own power, being in your own confidence, and being in your own authority and taking charge to move through this resistance. So you have a lot of strength on your side here. I'm picking up this week, more than you think you may have. Clarify the Six of Swords in your current energy. You have the Seven of Wands. Okay, I'm seeing what's going on here. I think you're starting to find the conviction, right? Seven of Wands, you believe, I do think you do believe in what you're wanting to do. And I do think here that you're finding the courage here to innovate, to think differently, and to try your ideas or to take action in new directions. However, it's like you're still mastering like this energy with the Seven of Wands being the challenge. It's like this is still an energy here that you're having to work with and you're having to like engage more in. And so how to do that is like what the Strength card is, to develop your willpower. Use your will. The universe is reminding you that God gave you a will for a reason, and it's how you yield your will. And to yield your will. Or willed. So I say yield, willed. Or yield, who knows? It could be both. Clarify the Seven of Wands in your challenge. Why is this still messing with you? The Four of Cups. I think it's moving outside of your own comfort zone. Four of Cups sometimes means that we're yearning for things, right? He's yearning for something to show up. But he's also not willing to do anything, right? Like, because it could be that he's too afraid to step outside of his comfort zone, or maybe it feels uncomfortable. But the Strength card is saying like to seek the uncomfortable, because that's when you become comfortable. Embrace the uncomfortable, and then the more you'll become comfortable. It's like one of my favorite quotes. I forgot who said it. Hopefully somebody can leave it down below. Clarify the Strength card as your advice before we go to the future position. Temperance. Temperance is also my card of like patience, right? And understanding that it's a process of experimentation, trial and error, understanding what works, discarding what doesn't, learning along the way. And then finally you kind of get to this point to where you have developed your mind. You've developed your mind's capacity to be able to understand things and do things here because of the wisdom and the lessons you've learned through embracing the challenges and the struggle. But you're also, again, very wise. And so the universe is saying, like, you have the knowledge here. All you have to do is just engage your willpower. Clarify this Nine of Wands. In the future position. You have the Sun card. It's so interesting. I actually see good results on the horizon here for you, right? The Sun card represents freedom. It represents liberation, success, happiness, joy, optimism, one feeling connected to their being and their power. And I'm seeing you here connect to that, but it's interesting because the natural thing that happens, and I would love to know your opinion on this, but my point here is like the natural thing that happens like whenever we confront our limitations is that when we do push the boundary, or when we do expand the boundary of our limitations, we naturally feel uncomfortable in a new area here that we haven't been before. And so your being is growing, and so you're just adjusting, which is why the Temperance is your advice, is like adjusting to the growth period, adjusting to the growth. Clarify this Three of Swords in the position of something that you're unaware of at this time. You pulled the Knight of Cups here. Knight of Cups is intuitively what I'm picking up on is like active compassion that's in motion here. But also this is about forgiving yourself. Knight of Cups, Three of Swords. Forgiving yourself. But also too, Knight of Cups is always after its objects of affections and his desires and the things that he finds meaningful and emotionally fulfilling. And so the Three of Swords can mean like maybe you're holding your own self back. I don't think that's necessarily the case anymore as much. I think you are starting to move forward, but I think sometimes you can revert back to the Three of Swords to where you feel like a failure, or where you feel like, you know, like it's not going to work out, or it's just going to be doom and gloom in the future. And so the universe is saying here, spirit is saying here, like, to try to break out of that mindset. And I think the best thing you can do is like have compassion for yourself and understand that you are going through this process of growth and evolution here, and finding your power and finding your courage and your strength and your willpower here on your journey, Pisces. So let's clarify this moon card and the outcome. You have the Hierophant here. Eternal knowledge. The Hierophant represents the revealer of the sacred. And the moon is actually the archetype of Pisces, right? People think it's actually the actual moon, but it's not. The high priestess is the moon. But the moon represents Pisces. The moon card represents Pisces. And the Hierophant represents wisdom. So this is eternal wisdom that you're connecting to, and that you're understanding, like, wow, there's so much more for me to learn. And I also feel like it's very like encouraging, and like it's bringing a sense of optimism with the Sun card. I just feel like you're trying to adjust and understand more the process here. But the moon card and the Hierophant is saying also too that you only fear what you don't know. But I feel like you're starting to find the answers to the things that you don't know. And so there may be more things that come up that you have to understand and dive more deeper in and gain more conscious awareness of. But the information and the knowledge that you're looking for is out there if you keep yourself open to learning. Let's pull the final outcome here for you, Pisces. Pull the Wheel of Fortune. You have good luck on your side, a good turn of events, positive turn of events. Also, the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. Jupiter's ready to reward you and open up new doorways and new opportunities as well for you in the future. And also the Wheel of Fortune is like good deeds that happen as a result from you applying yourself and putting in the work. So you have things returning to you, right? You have things coming to you. Clarify this Wheel of Fortune, what's coming towards you. You have the Hermit here. I feel like it's wisdom. Like, I gotta be real, like, it may sound a little boring, but I feel like it's wisdom. I feel like it's like answers that you need for your journey, right? To understand and allow you to be able to take the necessary steps forward, like in your destiny with the Wheel of Fortune and the Hermit. Also too, I think you're learning something here that you may want to share with others. Give me one more card for Pisces. You have the Five of Swords here. Also, I feel like you're really understanding what's valuable for you and what it is that you want to create. And I think you no longer care what other people think. I think you no longer care about the opinions or the judgment of others. Or maybe you're finally ridding yourself of the judgments that you placed upon yourself here as well. You pull this unmarked trail, it says revelation. So there's going to be a new trail and a new revelation that is brought to your awareness. And the universe is saying, especially with the moon card being in the outcome, there's a trail in the moon card that leads through these two pillars, and that's into the unknown. But all the answers are in the unknown, so there's no need to be afraid of it. But just understand, there's a new path here that is opening up for you. You pulled the 7th house card. It says relationships here. I think there is a desire here for you, because a desire here this week that you want to connect more with people. You want to share more with people. So the universe is saying, like, don't forget the importance of relationships and community and your social and socializing here as well. And also too, some of you may have like this imposter syndrome. I gotta be real with the Sun card and the 9 of Wands. Like, and it's interesting because the Emperor is saying, like, no, you're not an imposter. Anytime we begin something new, we always like maybe judge ourselves based upon other people and feel like we're inadequate, or maybe we feel like we're not gonna be as good as them or whatnot. So the universe is saying, like, don't do comparisons here. Don't judge yourself here based upon other people, and don't let yourself slip into imposter syndrome. Last card here, you have this River card, and it says flow. Go with the tides of the river, Pisces. Nobody knows how to flow better than you. So that's what I got for you. I'm gonna leave your reading here. Remember that I feel like this is a week to where it's like you're really starting to get comfortable and seated with being seated in your power and taking charge of being the authority and starting to create the beautiful things that you want in your life. And I think through that process, you're finding happiness, a little bit of uncomfortability because it's newer things that are happening here. So you're just having to adjust, but the universe is saying, just flow and go. So that's what I got. I'm gonna leave your reading here. If you want to book a personal reading with me, that link will be down below in the description. I can take a look at your specific situation and help you find whatever it is that you're looking for, or help reveal any answers that you are looking for at this time. If you haven't yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so. Click the notification bell as well. You'll get notified whenever I upload your videos. And if you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button for me. Otherwise than that, Pisces, I will see you later.